Good morning, afternoon, wherever in your time zone. This is the SIG Network meeting for Thursday, September 25th, 2025. Our meeting abides by the CNCF Code of Conduct, which essentially boils down to be nice to each other. And we will start off with triage. So I pull up the issues here. I hope, is this sharing? I hope this is working. My computer is a little laggy today.
We can see it.
I can see it.
Okay. All right, now I can see it now, so you see it before me. Okay, so going from top to bottom, first one is why net SO MaxCon is unsafe. So I did take a look at this one, mostly just summarizing kind of the previous issue that this was kind of blocked on. So there is this proposal here, which is quite old, like 2018 old. Let me just share this one. And there was a discussion about how, if you open this up, some of these comments, basically it's not clear if the user is able to tweak this value and they set it to effectively infinity, that then the container is able to exhaust kernel memory. So first of all, does anyone have any idea, is this actually a problem? Because as far as I can tell, the thing was waiting on was someone investigating this. And then as far as I can tell, it just died. And then we get back to this.
I thought that there was some official thing from the kernel which said which syscuttles were safe for namespaced use and which ones were not. But I can't find it. So maybe I just dreamed that up.
So there is a mention here. It's a little obscure for me. If you look down here, where it says, it seems all syscuttles are safe. But I'm looking at the code and I don't know why this makes it safe, but I don't know the Linux kernel that well.
It's possible that the person who made that comment didn't understand the definition of safe that we were using.
Yeah, so I think they're like, oh, it's namespace, it's safe. It's like,
exactly, right.
Yeah.
There's namespaced and there's can't crash the machine. And I don't know. The question is the memory that the kernel allocates allocated against the C group of the process that is receiving those calls? And I think the answer is no, because the kernel doesn't have that. If I recall, the kernel didn't have that information. It's been a long time since I looked down that code path, so maybe it does now. This is where the investigation needs to go.
Okay, so I will write that if, for example, the
I linked one article that says, if you Google that, everything points to some engine tuning, and it seems that the original default was 128, and now the default is 4,000. So I wouldn't be surprised that the problem got fixed when they changed the default.
You think 4K is enough for anybody?
I don't know, but is it?
Well, the thing is, one thing is though, is 4K is still a very small number, right? Like setting that for a default is like very small.
what I'm trying to point out is things like this is usually coming for people hitting some common problem with defaults, and maybe this is no longer the
But
case.
Isn't this syscall or this sysctl specifically governing the number of unaccepted connections? You can have as many sockets as you can have file descriptors, I think. This is just for how big is your accept backlog, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I'm saying. I think that is web server specific. If you go, everything points to some Nginx option. That's why I'm saying that. I don't know if this is something we can generalize or is
The Google
specific.
AI overview says, where did it say? While SOMaxCon is indeed a namespace sysctl, it is still classified as unsafe because potential for resource exhaustion and impact on node stability. So
Yeah, we have to be careful. What if it like references that GitHub issue we just had?
The fact that it used the word node rather than host.
I thought that was funny.
It's like, oh, actually, it's quoting from you, Tim, what you're saying right now. Like, so what do folks think? So I dropped these two comments, and then should we accept this? Is this?
I'm fine to accept it for another cycle, and if it comes back in a year again and still nobody wants to look at it, then it clearly isn't that important.
Okay. All right.
And if somebody here wants to investigate it, it could be a fun way to just, help close an issue or decide actually there is work to do.
Let me just make a note of this.
You could put my name on here. I'm happy to dig in. Honestly, mostly because I've never dealt with unsafe sysctl and I kind of want to learn it. So I might dig in and write a summary as opposed to dig in and make a decision. MOISEY. There you
Okay.
You're going to end up writing kernel patches, Adrian. Just watch.
go. Maybe.
Don't forget the semicolons. That's my mistake all the time whenever I look at C code now.
Oh, use the comma. That's I prefer the comma.
Can't you just use Google AI to write that for you as well?
Ricardo, I am the Google AI. That's why it's so bad.
Okay, moving on. This IPVS bug, the next on the list. And thanks. Okay, so unable to remove virtual server entries in Kate's 134. What do we do about this one?
Are they saying this is a regression?
Yes.
Yeah, it was working properly in previous case versions. Assign it to me. I'll look at it.
Can I do both?
Yeah, it should work.
Excellent. All right, next one. Antonio, I think you took a look at this. Oops, did I share this?
I did.
Q proxy contract flushing of ready equals false pods kills duty flows. I thought I saw you on here.
But it didn't comment, right?
Yes. Here.
Okay. Can you assign if I not assign?
It looks like they said, oh, it's on master.
Yeah, okay. I will assign to me because if I not assign, I don't. I not.
Is there an area Q proxy? Let's just see.
Let's see.
There is.
Okay. All right. Triage accept as well. Triage accept. Okay, Dan, Antonio, do you want to discuss this one, or you think you're going to reply to
Well,
this?
I need to remember, but when we did the reconciler, I remember something about serving and versus what was the other name? But I think that Dan fixed that on demand. So I need to check the history and ask more questions. But as far as I know, we fixed all these things.
Okay. All right.
I remember there was a bug with the serving versus the other. What was before the reconcile? No, I need to. I don't remember now. I will check.
Let's go to this one. IPVS mode syncing rules. Performance problem causes API server access failure during node initialization. Let's see. So new node joins large number of services.
So this one requires like re-architecting IPVS. It's not going to happen. We were just sort of waffling about whether to close the bug or not.
You're right. Okay, so we already replied to this last month. Should we just end people's pain? Like, I don't know if we're going to have a different response the next month.
I'm fine with close, not likely to be fixed. Please try NF tables.
I mean, they also haven't responded since those messages, so there's been no pushback from them.
We are recommending trying NF tables. Let's see it. You know, I'm going to be flagged as AI because I use M dash, but and hyphenation. So. Okay. All right. All right. And then that is it for the ones that I see in our standard search. Let me just share this, but we can look at the ones with an assignee for the next 3 minutes to see what else is there. So actually, wait. This one. Oh, yes. So I think, did we ever get a reply from the pod of the host network? I think we were asking for the contributor to come back on that one. Let's see. Sorry, just trying to get to the end. Looks like, what's going on here? Mike Zappa, Antonio, and then nothing. Okay, so we're still waiting for a reply on that one.
I just
So,
closed it. I think that is 1 month, right?
Okay, Antonio, do you want to close it? Just be like, hey, please reopen.
Yeah.
Let's see. Refactoring kubeproxy code probably.
That's something SIG Windows is doing. You can just triage accepted that.
Okay.
Triage accepted.
Okay. I won't open it up. I'll mark it as triage accepted. And then we just have time for one more. Kubeproxy IP tables uses interface addresses instead of node's internal IP on SNAT.
There's discussion there. I think it's sort of fizzled out though. That might be not our problem. We can close it. I'll look at it again.
Interesting. Cilium. Just take a real quick look at the bottom of this.
This is the one that has multiple interfaces and doing SNAT and this is yeah. I have plenty of these things.
I might have been muted when I said
Okay,
it. I said I'll take another look at this and figure out if we can close it.
Okay. All right. And I think that's all the time we have. So I'm going to switch back to the original agenda and the doc. Okay. And then Dan, I think you have the first item on the list.
Yeah, this is just a quick thing that came out of the discussions around kubelet probes, which Surya and I are still sort of slowly pushing forward. One of the problems that we had talked about at the last KubeCon, if we do probes inside the pod network namespace rather than sending them over the network, it solves all the network policy problems and a bunch of other things, but it adds the new problem that now pod probes can succeed before the CNI plugin has succeeded in fully attaching the pod to the network. And so I just added a comment about that because we were talking about it again, of an idea of how maybe we could recommend that network plugins use pod readiness gates to solve this problem. And then somehow Tim already noticed. He must have been looking at the SIG Network meeting agenda after I added it. And so there's already been some discussion. But mostly this is if somebody was looking for a project to something to work on, then, or if you think it's a really great or a really terrible idea, you can go comment.
Okay, so I'm going to add the notes. This is a call for great project to investigate and contribute to. And Dan, like, how would people get into the conversation? Is it to start talking on this cap, or like what?
Or bug me. Yeah. You can find me on Slack or whatever.
All right.
Or comment here. Yeah.
Reach out to Dan for details. Oops. Okay. Next item. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, one thing that I saw people doing is cheating on. So people use the kubelet metrics to measure the pod startup, and with this, you improve the pod startup, but the real application startup is still blocked because the network takes more time. Is that you just cannot measure it. So just to be careful with that, is maybe we try to optimize for some metrics that are not the reality. That the people want the application to run fast. And what we are going to do is just we want the network to not report that it's not fast, but it may take more time in the but
Rob, you have this. Next item.
Yeah, not a lot to say here. But I don't know why I didn't link to the specific PR, but there's only one open, so that'll get you there. So for anyone curious, we are trying to move forward with the Gateway 1.4 release process. The PR I linked poorly, but should get you there, is covering the full diff between 1.4 and 1.3. This is pretty overwhelming, but if you do want to take a look, we've had some reviews. I would focus on just looking at API changes, which can filter.
149 commits, Rob.
I mean, usually I try and filter this out, but this is just, how it happened this time. So,
Okay.
yeah, so just, focus on API changes in files changed, and if you want to help review. But we are, as mentioned before, basically just APIs directory. As mentioned before, we are doing everything we can to keep this release moving. So we're leaning towards lazy consensus. And last time we used that to get RC1 out the door. And I hope that it's okay that we continue with this approach and move forward with RC2 later today. And then if we get continued good feedback on RC2, we will proceed with the final release sometime next week. Any objections to that plan?
Okay, I think this is a call for people to take a look. Probably you need to sit down with like a cup of coffee or something.
Yeah.
But Rob, you have those slides, so probably that's like.
Yeah, we've already gone through
what we did
slides.
over.
Like my take here is, based on the last couple times we've discussed this, have not heard any, meaningful objections. So we're just going to keep on running through. But if anyone does, feel like they haven't gotten enough of a chance to take a look and want to, this is kind of last call, is what I would say. So yeah, I think that's all for me. If there are no objections, we'll just keep on moving.
Okay, and it looks like we are at the end of our agenda. So if anything opens, otherwise we can end early. Going once, twice. Let me just check the chat real quick. Make sure. Okay. All right. Anyways, so looks like we don't have any more agenda, so we can earn early. Thanks, everyone. See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
See you.